Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime Wednesday night. Damian Nelson sitting here alongside David Octavius and Tiberius, the alleged backyard one-time straight-edge Hardcore Divas Knockouts Hall of Fame champion hero. And we're back on Wednesdays, David Hero. We're ramping up to the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 29 in New York. So what a better way to celebrate than to bring back the midweek delight of the PWR Primetime Wednesday edition.
We are bringing Hump Day happiness to everybody.
Hump Day?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, Hump Day. We're at the hump. We're getting over the hump.
It's a flat week. There's no one day that's higher than
but we're peaking.
You're just trying to put some innuendo in here because you think this is for online only.
Linda is not here, so there's no innuendo needed.
Well, here on Primetime Wednesday, let's first roll into this past Monday night's Raw with this week's Raw Report, ladies and gentlemen. And David Hero, I think the overall question we're going to answer at the end of this segment is, were the expectations set too high? On a night where you had The Rock, Ric Flair, John Cena, you had all kinds of big things happening on a night of Raw, a lot of people saying it didn't quite do what it needed to do. We'll answer that at the end. But let's talk about what happened that was significant on Raw, including a tremendous matchup between John Cena and Dolph Ziggler. This matchup occurred within the confines of a steel cage. Good old JR on commentary, and he made what was a great match that much better. This was a tremendous wrestling matchup. Dolph Ziggler threw everything he could at John Cena. However, it would be a single attitude adjustment by the John Cena.
Just one, right?
Just one that would cause Dolph Ziggler to get pinned and lose that matchup.
And he did throw everything at him. He threw Biggie Langston at him. He threw the briefcase at him. He even had AJ Lee straddling the top of the cage, looking down at John Cena.
Straddling what?
The top of the cage.
Very good. How about AJ's outfit on Monday? Sweet baby Jesus.
You know what? She looks good. She does. She must work out. But once again, Dolph Ziggler comes up short with, and it's in the cage, and JR's calling it. And yes, it was a fantastic match. It was damn near # tremendous. But my goodness, how many more times are we going to see those two go at it? And they're giving it away now on Raw.
But it wasn't a bad match. As you said, it was a fantastic matchup. So does it matter how many times we see him go at it?
Yes, it does.
Really?
Because you can only watch the same match so many times. You can only see Sting versus Ric Flair. You can only see John Cena versus Randy Orton. You can only see Undertaker versus Triple H so many times. And then it just becomes every day. It's not special anymore. And right now, Dolph Ziggler, comes up short in the cage match. Is the next match going to be special? I mean, the cage match is the last match for all matches, right?
It has been historically, but
it usually is. So where do they go from here? And why was there a cage match?
Right.
There was no build to why they have to.
In theory, you're keeping Langston and AJ out,
right? It didn't work.
It did not work.
No. So I love a good cage match. But please tell me why you need one right now. There was no reason for it.
20th anniversary of Raw, big deal. John Cena and Dolph Ziggler have been feuding for a long time.
So when you think of Monday Night Raw, you think of cage matches. No, you don't. There's maybe a handful of them. See, you're thinking, and I hear the gears. You know I'm right.
Does Ziggler eliminate John Cena in the Royal Rumble come 2 weeks on pay-per-view?
There's no way.
Why not?
The Royal Rumble is John Cena's match to lose.
It's John Cena's match to lose, or is it, given the rumors of who will win the WWE Championship at Royal Rumble, is it John Cena's match to win?
It's both. Dolph Ziggler has the briefcase. He doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble to cash in a title match, unless he does win the Rumble. Then he has the briefcase for the World Heavyweight title, and then he challenges for the WWE title, and then he could combine both belts if he could win both.
You just blew my mind.
That's what I'm paid the big dollars to do.
Overall, great matchup, though, and again, Jim Ross adding so much flavor to it.
It was a great match, but it was not better than Wade Barrett and Randy Orton.
What?
That was a great match.
What?
Yes. That was
I have just about forgotten that match even occurred. That shows you how great it was.
I did not. No. See, it was a one-on-one match. It was a fight. It was two grown men punching and kicking and beating each other up. There were no divas hanging from the top of the cage. There was no Biggie Langston getting involved and tossing a briefcase. There were no distractions or shenanigans. It was an old school wrestling match, and Randy Orton and Wade Barrett had a fantastic match that could have been the main event. If you look at just in-ring action alone, that was awesome. Now, you know I'm right.
Randy Orton wins that matchup. I'm sorry, Wade Barrett wins that matchup. Pins Randy Orton clean, 1, 2, 3 in the center of the ring. Randy Orton is on the winning side of things. Well,
but Barrett needs it. He needs to be rolling and going. Randy Orton, hey, he can lose every single night, and he's still going to be over as a top star.
The endorsed Eve Torres wins or loses the WWE Divas Championship to Caitlyn, and then announces her departure from World Wrestling Entertainment.
Stop.
Not a bad Divas match.
No, hold on. We're going to explain what truly happened here. When you had Eve on that last time,
about 2 weeks ago,
was not cleared by the Titan Tower offices, and you got Eve in trouble and fired. Way to take care of your endorsed talent, Damian Nelson.
Folks, what he's doing is trying to put some type of heat on me, whereas the problem is, all of you out there know that this man sits here every week and hates the WWE champion CM Punk.
No, I don't.
And now he's trying to deflect from that hatred he has of the internet darling that is CM Punk. To me, somehow, some way, some shape, some form, being involved with the departure of Eve Torres from WWE. Eve is moving on to bigger and better things. She is moving on to be the spokeswoman for a lady self-defense group, and is also, at least reports are, that she is going to soon be wed. That means married.
Well, then it's over.
Ric Flair is back. Hadn't seen him since the Slammies a couple of weeks ago. He is a guest on Miz TV. This segment was a little awkward at times, David Hero.
Awkward wasn't even the word for it. The Miz is not a good guy.
He's not a good guy.
Please go back to being pompous, arrogant.
It's in his DNA, if you will.
Oh my good God Almighty! I mean, even Ric Flair just seemed off. I mean,
yeah,
no.
Well, Flair's.
He is off.
He may have been wondering who he was.
He is off.
In there with.
Yeah, but wow, that was not awesome.
What many people also say was not awesome was the second version of the Rock concert, David Hero. Vicky Guerrero, one of the big victims, at least from The Rock and his musical talents.
What happened to be a star?
And then it was a breakdown, a pull apart, a Pier 6 between The Rock and CM Punk to end the show. Some are wondering whether or not those two should have ever touched each other before their big match
at the
Royal
didn't
Rumble.
Touch each other. You got a rock bottom, you got a full shoves and pushes back and forth. I'm not sold on this match.
Because you hate Punk?
Okay. I don't hate Punk. I don't. I really don't hate him at all. I'm not sold on. Listen, I am a fan of The Rock. I am a fan of Hulk Hogan. I'm a fan of Stone.
You're old school to a degree.
I am old school. I appreciate the old school. Listen, there's nothing wrong with that. When you talk about people that love the Pittsburgh Steelers, they talk about Terry Bradshaw and Franco Harris. You know,
who?
You wouldn't understand. Packers,
for
old school. That's, we're older people. We're gonna.
How about those Packers?
That. Yeah, they're fantastic. Hey, it doesn't make a difference to me about the Packers. But what I'm saying is, I don't see it. I don't see how CM. If I'm booking this match clean,
and you will be in a couple weeks.
No side interference, one-on-one with the great one and CM Punk. There is no way that The Rock can lose to CM Punk. There's no way. You were talking about a guy that has put Hulk Hogan's shoulders on the mat. Mm-hmm. He has put Stone Cold Steve Austin's shoulders on the mat. He has put John Cena's shoulders on the mat. Triple H, Mankind Foley, The Big Show, The Undertaker.
Apples to apples, CM Punk has not had those same opportunities, so it is unfair to judge him against
Yes, he has.
That.
He has had opportunities to wrestle The Undertaker.
When did he wrestle Hogan?
He lost to The Undertaker. He
big
lost
main
to
event
Triple
matchups
H.
that people remember? No.
He lost to Triple H.
He did, yes. That was a matchup that people will remember. But the current big names in WWE, CM Punk has defeated just about each and every one of them.
He's lost to Randy Orton.
He's beaten Randy Orton.
But he's also lost to Randy Orton. I'm just saying, I don't see it. I just don't see
Jones.
it. Alex Jones?
That's what you're reminding me of. You're being completely irrational, illogical, and unreasonable.
I am being completely
You're
honest.
comparing comparing The Rock's accomplishments to accomplishments that his opponent could not have achieved.
All right. I know we're going to go long. Andy, just
We've already gone long.
Hold on a second here. We'll do this.
Let's do this.
Undertaker. They both wrestle Undertaker, right? They have. They both
in high-profile, big-time matchups.
Yes.
Okay.
They both wrestled John Cena, correct?
Yes. I'll give you that.
They both have wrestled Triple H, yes?
Yes.
Okay. They have both wrestled. No, Rock really has not wrestled Randy Orton, but Mick Foley has. Punk hasn't wrestled Mick Foley.
Can't confirm or deny that at this time.
Okay, so let's say I'll give The Rock Foley, and we'll give Punk Randy Orton. Randy Orton beat CM Punk at WrestleMania, correct? High-profile match. John Cena and Punk have gone back and forth, but I'll give Punk the edge over John Cena. Okay?
Because he's beat him repeatedly.
Okay. So
shield
now,
or no shield.
So hold on. So Rock, he's going to have wins and losses, and we're going to have Punk here, wins and losses. So, Punk lost to Orton, high-profile match. Lost to Triple H, high-profile match. Beat John Cena, high-profile match. Lost to Undertaker, high-profile match. 1 and 3. Now we go to Rock and Undertaker. Undertaker has beaten Rock, high-profile match. He's beaten John Cena, high-profile match. He's beaten Triple H, high-profile match, and beat Mick Foley, high-profile match. 4-0 to 1 and 3.
Wins and losses do not matter.
Yes, they absolutely do.
CM Punk's 423-day streak as champion do not matter. Wins and losses do not matter.
I never said his streak didn't matter.
Oh,
I just said it wasn't
my
relevant.
sweet Lord. You said it did not matter repeatedly on tape, on this program, in the archives. I can get an intern on this real quick there, pal, and get the actual number of instances by which you said CM Punk's championship reign did not matter.
It doesn't
you just said it again.
But no, his current reign does not matter.
423 days. Did The Rock do that? Did The Undertaker do that? Did John Cena do that? Did Triple H do that? Mick Foley do that?
Did CM Punk wrestle the whole month of December?
Okay,
so you better
fine.
30
we'll take
days
30 days off of that.
There you go.
We're at 393 days now. Okay?
Sure.
Great. We're at that many days now. He is still one of the longest reigning because you're not listening. You are not hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth to your ear.
My statistics
is still
right
the
here.
longest reigning champion in 25 years since Hulk Hogan. No one since Hulk Hogan has achieved that.
And why is that? And why is that? And why? I've asked you 5 times now. Why is that?
You just asked me 5 times.
You know
now
why?
that you give me a chance to answer it. It's because he is.
It's because there's nobody else ready to be champion on the
Nobody
Raw
else.
brand.
Dolph Ziggler's not ready.
No.
Sheamus isn't ready.
No.
Alberto Del Rio isn't ready.
Champ.
John Cena isn't ready.
Del Rio was the champ. There's nobody else ready right now.
Nobody.
Nobody.
Randy Orton's not ready.
No, absolutely not. Because nobody's got time for that.
Here's the thing.
I know I'm right. You can get out all you want.
This is not about right or wrong.
I'm
trying to understand your spin. Wins and losses, do they matter?
Of course.
How so?
Because if you're booking the match, if you're trying to see who has the advantage, look, when the NFL playoffs are on, they compare what teams played what teams to see, okay.
In a historical sense, yes.
Yes, and that's what we're doing right now. We're doing historical sense. We're doing Punk in the big game matches. He's only defeated in big game matches John Cena. I really can't put Del Rio in there because he's not at that level yet. But as far as the top guys in the company, Punk has not fared well.
In the time The Rock was gone, CM Punk had great wins over the names like Jeff Hardy, over names like Rey Mysterio, over
Rock has beaten both those guys.
So here's the question. No matter what counterpoint is levied against you, you are still going to be wearing this,
no, I don't
and
need,
just deflecting
I don't need
the
to
pucks
wear,
as they come at you.
Listen, I'm not deflecting anything. I'm just saying I like The Rock.
Can you just vocalize for the people out there as you've done?
There's without a shadow of a doubt in this brain right here, I cannot see The Rock coming back, finally coming back to the Royal Rumble to lay down, put his shoulders on the mat for CM Punk. I don't see it.
And I would give you that. Let's storyboard it though. WrestleMania.
Yes.
What are the top matches? What's The Undertaker going to do? What's Cena going to do? What's Punk going to do? What's Rock going to do?
I don't care what Undertaker does.
But But that could have some bearing on what happens with CM Punk, because some are saying it could be Punk Taker at WrestleMania. Could be Rock Cena 2 at WrestleMania. Could be Triple H Lesnar at WrestleMania.
If it is Punk versus Taker at WrestleMania, that is not good for Punk.
Picture it Sicily. The Raw
Sicily.
after Royal Rumble. CM
Tyson?
Punk comes out, he's lost his championship to The Rock the night before.
Right.
Ding dong, toll goes the bell, here comes The Undertaker.
Why?
Want to talk about streaks? Want to talk about your streak as WWE champion? Well, how about the streak at WrestleMania? One-on-one, Taker Punk.
I don't like it.
Because you hate Punk.
No, I don't like it. There's no reason
You
for
don't
it.
like him, you just said that.
There's no build-up for it. There's no reason.
Streak versus
Why?
streak. His streak is over,
Okay,
he needs
first
something
of all,
to do.
The Undertaker should not challenge anybody. They need to step up to him and knock on his front door.
Maybe Punk does that.
Why would Taker say, hey, streak versus streak?
Maybe Punk does that then, fine. Carry it over a few weeks. Taker finally answers. He gives him a reason to. If you're CM Punk or any other WWE superstar, don't you want that match at WrestleMania with The Undertaker?
Well,
Erase your hatred for a minute.
Hey, the Brooklyn Brawler would want that match with Undertaker
I think
at
he does,
WrestleMania.
actually.
I'm just saying, you don't need Taker anymore at WrestleMania. It was the end of the era last year. It's done. It's finished. You don't need Undertaker back. So stop resting your feathery hat on Undertaker. Right now, you got to figure out who to CM Punk wrestle at WrestleMania if the main event, the true main event, is Cena versus Rock. Where does CM Punk fall? Does he fall into a match with Dolph Ziggler? Is it Sheamus? Is it Big Show again? He lost to Big Show. Rock has beaten Big Show. This is a very pivotal. Maybe it's a three-way. Maybe it's Cena versus Rock versus Punk. That I would like to see, because that right there, you can elevate CM Punk to WrestleMania status with Cena and Rock in the match. Maybe it is a three-way match. You know what? That's how I would book it. I would have it to be WrestleMania would be a triple threat match.
You're wrong.
John Cena versus The Rock versus CM Punk. You cannot. Can you imagine?
CM Punk no, that does nothing for him.
Of course
you
it
just
does.
want to see him buried in that match with those two.
Punk could win that match. That's
Not going to happen.
Yeah, he could win
Not
that
gonna
match.
happen.
Hear me out.
I'd rather
Because
not.
now you have, I can just see the poster. The guy in the middle is The Rock.
Rock, Brock Lesnar, and John Cena.
No.
That's the poster.
Wait. One of the posters. You have Rock, Cena, and Punk. Punk now, he's on a movie poster with G.I. Joe, okay? And the Marine. How fantastic is that? You know what? No, I'm not done. You watch WrestleMania, when it comes out, it's going to be a three-way match. You will then say, you know what? You were right. That is how you say.
You're so far out.
No, it's not.
Far off.
No.
Punk does not belong in that matchup. John Cena.
Whoa, you're saying Punk doesn't belong in the main event of WrestleMania?
I am saying he does not belong in that matchup with those two on that stage, because it is all about Rock and Cena, and Punk will get completely lost in that shuffle.
No, he won't.
No,
he won't. Because Punk will be the antagonist.
We are long.
Did Chris Benoit? No, wait, I'm not done yet. Did Chris Benoit get lost in the match with Triple H and Shawn Michaels?
Different. Okay, you want to go back 9 years? Let's go back 19 years.
Okay.
No.
It wasn't a triple threat match 19 years ago.
Scenario. Entirely different scenario.
No, it's not. It's for the WWE Championship. I like that. That is the match I'm going to petition for. Punk, Cena, Rock, triple threat.
20th anniversary of Raw, viewed by many as a letdown, a disappointment due to the hype surrounding the fact that it was the 20th anniversary of Raw.
Yes. Why?
Is that justified, given the fact that overall, the 3 hours of Raw this past Monday night had direction, had vision, and had purpose in what I thought was an overall solid show?
It was a very solid show. The people that were disappointed with Monday Night Raw, it's your own fault, because you had humongous expectations.
Well, weren't those expectations set by shows like the 1000th episode of Raw, where some 20 names came back?
And yes, that's 1000th Raw, absolutely. But like I said on Monday Night Meltdown, the 1000th Raw wasn't 2 weeks before a huge pay-per-view. where you might see some of these guys come back, where you might see the New Age Outlaws in the Rumble, or a Kevin Nash, or you might see a returning John Morrison, or whatever you might see then. That's what's going to make it special is on the pay-per-view. They didn't have to. They needed to get these main event guys, these young mid-card up-and-coming main event guys established in front of a large audience going forward on the road to WrestleMania. We're going way over time. You need to wrap this up.
The poll
here.
that we conducted via Twitter, at PWR Show on Twitter is our name, this past Monday night after Raw went off the air, whether or not it deserved a passing or failing grade. And ladies and gentlemen, you spoke, you made the final call. 62% of you saying that Raw deserved a passing grade, to 38% saying it deserved a failing grade. Now, what is unique about that, or of note about that, is last week's episode of Raw, where The Rock came back, 100% of the viewing audience, at least those that participated in our poll, felt that Raw deserved a passing grade. 38% coming from disappointment of expectations, or because it wasn't as good a show as maybe we think it was.
Disappointment of expectations.
All right. Well, that is this week's Raw Report, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk about TNA Genesis, which was this past Sunday on pay-per-view. We've also got a preview of this Saturday's Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television, and a big announcement pertaining to the weekend events from PWR in New York as part of WrestleMania 29. The Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Wednesday continues right after this.
The biggest party during WrestleMania weekend is coming to Manhattan. PWR presents Shenanigans in the Concrete Jungle, hosted by Big Sexy Kevin Nash on Saturday, April 6th. The party starts right after the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony, just steps away from Madison Square Garden. VIP tickets include free drinks and more, and are only available in limited quantities. Get your tickets now for this tremendous Hall of Fame after party right across the street from Madison Square Garden. Shenanigans in the Concrete Jungle, the only place to be after the WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony, high above Manhattan in the historic Hotel Pennsylvania. It will be epic.
Mr. Telephone Man, there's something wrong with my line.
What's wrong with my freaking chair? Some bullshit.
I feel great now.
Yeah,
I'm in
and
the
you know
right
what?
chair. You're
Now-
in the same one you sat in for the last few months.
And I'm not comfortable with it.
Well, you shouldn't have gotten a taste of greatness.
I felt really good in that chair, and now I'm not pleased.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report. What?
Sorry. I didn't know you were starting.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Wednesday night. David Nelson sitting here alongside.
Of course, yeah. Just, yeah.
His poppy mouth right here, David Hero.
Yeah.
And we are talking about, how about that? Shenanigans in the Concrete Jungle, David Hero. Kevin Nash hosting a huge party after a Hall of Fame induction ceremony in Times Square, Hotel Pennsylvania. Top floor ballroom overlooking Manhattan. The only place to be Saturday night. Even if you're going to Hall of Fame,
you know
access wherever, the only place to be.
It's right after the Hall of Fame.
And literally, I did this last week.
Yes.
Here's the Hall of Fame at Madison Square Garden, ladies and gentlemen. It's right here. It's this backdrop. Few steps. Oh, look, I'm at the Hotel Pennsylvania.
And the beautiful
close.
thing about it is, talking with Big Sexy, he's inviting some of his other friends to come over to the party as well.
Come on now, don't set expectations too high. We just talked about that.
Wait, I'm not setting any expectations high because it's going to happen. Extras are going to be there.
Last year, just look at the names of people. There were some 12 talents there last year.
I mean, we
All kinds
had
of great names.
Robbie E. and Rob Terry. We had X-Pac. We had Billy Gunn.
You want to just say it now? We know Robbie E's going to swing by.
Well, no. I want the official
I just
press
did.
Well, okay, that's fine. Rhino, sunny.
This last year.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And that was South Beach. But listen, we are right across the street from Madison Square Garden.
A lot of people with nothing to do.
Wait, but there's also another Hall of Fame.
Indeed, on Friday night, just announced this past Monday night by King Kong Bundy, he is being inducted into the Pro Wrestling Report Hall of Fame. That happens Friday night, 10 o'clock p.m. at the Hotel Pennsylvania as well. Again, at the headquarters of Pro Wrestling Report all weekend in Times Square. Who else is in Times Square doing stuff? There's a lot of stuff in New Jersey, right? Across the bridge, river, whatever it is.
There's a lot of
Who's
stuff going on.
implanted and embedded in Times Square all weekend long? None other than the Pro Wrestling Report, and you can be a part of it. So you can get tickets right now, pwrshow.com. Many of you have gotten tickets already, and by the way, they are going very fast, not very many left, so don't miss out on this amazing opportunity.
It's King Kong
all weekend
Bundy's only Hall of Fame ceremony.
And it's the only one he wants to be in, and the only one he accepted being in, happening this past weekend, that weekend at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Let's go now, though, into this pay-per-view review, and let's look back at TNA Genesis, which occurred last Sunday night from Orlando, Florida, in the Impact Zone. And coming up this Saturday, David, here on the Primetime Saturday night, we're going to be talking about TNA's big, massive changes to their pay-per-view structure and why Genesis was a very important pay-per-view for the company, even though the results may not tell you that it was. Let's talk about it match by match, David. Hero, the opening contest. It was for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez teamed up to defeat Matt Morgan and Joey Riot, retaining those tag team titles.
It was a solid tag team match. It was almost like Bizarro World because you had the Giant and Matt Morgan and the sleazy guy and Joey Ryan against the Super Mex and Chavo Guerrero. Did you see the way Super Mex dumped Joey Ryan on his head?
I did.
Thought he broke his neck. But hey, Chavo and Mex retained the tag team championships of the TNA Impact Wrestling world. Pretty solid opener for TNA Impact Wrestling.
Next matchup was Mr. Anderson defeating Samoa Joe. That match announced earlier in the day by TNA President Dixie Carter. It would have been a good opportunity for that to happen, but I had to let that intern go.
Come on!
Because of this whole chair
we
situation.
haven't had Ken on the show in forever. I finally get some super friendly points and I can't get a mic drop.
He defeats Samoa Joe this past Sunday on pay-per-view, though.
Yes, he did. Good for, well, he had a little help from his friends, Aces and Eights. He did.
That he did, and they would be prevalent in a matchup later on as well involving Sting. But before that were to happen, the X Division Championship Shot Tournament Final, Christian York defeating Kenny King, which immediately then led into a matchup for the X Division Championship with Rob Van Dam and Christian York. Christian York and Kenny King had a great they had a good wrestling matchup. RVD, I've spoken about him many a time on this program.
You don't like RVD, do you?
I do not understand his appeal. I will say that publicly.
So if I were to say that about CM Punk...
But see, you haven't. That's the thing.
I
man up and I say it. I say that I think that Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler, and the likes of The Miz, and the likes of Brodus Clay, and the likes of Crimson, the likes of Bully Ray, the endorsed talents are some of the best talents in professional wrestling today. She's gone.
Because you got her fired.
And I also am willing to sit here and say, as I've said for years, I don't understand the broad appeal of Rob Van Dam.
Why do you call Rob Van Dam the Buick? I don't get that.
He drives one, doesn't he? A LeSabre?
Might be.
Or a Park Avenue? It's an old Buick. Delta 88? That's an Olds.
Could be.
This series of matchups, your thoughts? RVD retains the X Division Championship at the end of all this.
Awkward.
Like your pause there?
Well, it was awkward because Christian York goes out there, has a great match with Kenny King, beats Kenny King. Kenny King gives him a DDT, right?
Yeah.
Knocks him out.
After all that
Even
happened
though
in that
everything
match,
else that happened to him in the match didn't really affect him. And then RVD, instead of just coming out there and wrapping him up, rolling him up for the quick 3 count, tries to help him. Tries to be the real babyface. RVD just should have beat him right there. But it was a long, drawn-out, dragged-out match. Don't know who it really benefited or helped at the end of the day.
Also, the number one contenders gauntlet match for the knockouts. See, that's the problem with some of these TNA pay-per-views and why it's such a great idea to do what they've did. All these titles on these number one contenders gauntlet match for the Knockouts Championship opportunity to be a number one contender.
It's a great opportunity
Velvet
to
Sky,
see 5 beautiful women.
And Velvet Sky wins over Gail Kim, ODB, Mickey James,
No, that's not what happened. Gail Kim beat everybody else, then Velvet Sky came in to beat Gail Kim.
Velvet Sky wins the match.
Yes, she did win. That's
And
what I
she's
just
the number one
said.
contender for the Knockouts Championship.
How about that? Who's the Knockouts champion? Tara, right?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
Another number
He's
one
wrapping you
contenders
up.
matchup.
It's like the
Christopher, you
Golden
didn't care
Globes.
in the last segment.
It's like
when we
the
went
Golden
segment
Globes all of a sudden.
14
Where's the
minutes
music gonna
long
start
because of
here?
your tirade, and still no official admission of your hatred for CM Punk.
I don't hate
Number
the
one
man.
contenders match. Christopher Daniels defeating
I don't
James
understand
Storm.
his appeal.
Really? Really? This is why they get hot. I am sitting here trying to be a broadcast journalist and talk about TNA Impact Wrestling. They had a
You
pay-per-view
brought
this
Punk
past
up
Sunday,
during a TNA
and now
Impact
you are.
Wrestling pay-per-view recap show.
And during the segment, you've brought up Ziggler, you've brought up Cody Rhodes, you've brought up Punk, you've brought up all kinds of WWE talent.
You just know that I'm always thinking. I'll just be quiet.
Daniels versus Storm. Nothing real special there, to be honest with you. However, Daniels and Kaz continue to be very impressive. Kazarian.
Kaz is a great talent.
Mm-hmm.
He's hashtag tremendous.
Sting beat Doc. The match started, didn't start. Aces and eights beat down Sting. Somehow or another still gets the win. Got some assistance in that matchup. And Sting wrestled in a t-shirt.
Sting, when
again.
he signs with TNA Impact Wrestling, instead of going and having a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania, to wind up wrestling at Genesis on pay-per-view in front of 900-some people against Festus. Sting is one hell of a loyal individual.
Elimination match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Jeff Hardy going up against Bobby Roode and Austin Aries. Bobby Roode eliminated first in that matchup. It comes down to Aries and Hardy. Quickly, though, Hardy gets the win in that match, retains the TNA Championship.
Jeff Hardy did he beat both guys.
Wait, but Velvet Sky didn't earlier on.
No, she didn't. She beat one. But Jeff Hardy pinned Bobby Roode, and then Jeff Hardy beats Austin Aries. He, in one night, wiped out both top contenders for the TNA Impact World Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. What was that look for?
I just got some very interesting information about WrestleMania weekend.
I'm just trying to wrap all this up here.
Some
Well,
good information.
share-
We'll have details on Saturday's primetime.
Oh, I can't wait
I
to
got to
see.
process this and check some sources.
Is
but,
that why you gave it the fist? You gave it a fist? Rob Terry's working the door again?
Well, we do have a entertainment announcement for the Shenanigans Party coming up this Saturday.
Beautiful.
Book the
EPO?
gig. It will be for entertainment purposes only. That's for sure. And
Look at this run sheet. We're way over.
coming up this Saturday on PWR Primetime Saturday night, though, we take a look at WWE Main Event and SmackDown. We also will be discussing the announced changes to the TNA pay-per-view model. And we're going to go in-depth, David Hero, on what CM Punk means without the WWE Championship. Very interesting conversation, I'm
lost 20
sure,
pounds.
especially if today's conversation has any bearing on that. That's going to be Saturday, 10 o'clock p.m. on My 24 Milwaukee. Again, the only pro wrestling news show right here on broadcast television in the world will be occurring the Saturday night on My 24 Milwaukee, and of course available online. And, well, I am spent, and 3 days of not seeing you are going to be very healthy for me. So, for this Wednesday edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime, you know, I'm damn glad Wednesday's back.
I am too. But I'm a little frustrated because we're missing the bachelor party tonight.
You know, did you get an invite to the wedding tomorrow night on Impact Wrestling with Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan?
I did get it. Not from them, I got one.
Roundabout sort of. You're a +1 or a +2?
I'm a +1.
+1.
Yeah.
You get a plate and everything? You got a place to sit?
I got a
Whose table do you think you'll be at? Probably not Dixie's.
It's not the Pope's.
For that one, ladies and gentlemen, this is Damian Nelson saying enjoy Impact Wrestling tomorrow night. And be sure to tune in to Sudden Impact Wrestling right after Impact Wrestling tomorrow night with Meathead and Matthew. And then we'll be back with you again on Saturday night with a brand new edition of the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time.